I will be replacing the outer tie rod end on this Mercury Mariner. The first step is to remove the cotter pin that is attached to the castle nut. I'm using pliers to bend the cotter pin legs to straighten it out, and once it's straight enough I can pull it out with the pliers. Using an 18mm socket and breaker bar, I'll be removing the castle nut. Next I'll be loosening the nut that is securing the tie rod end. I'm using two adjustable wrenches, or you can use a 15mm wrench. You need to put one wrench on the inner tie rod arm and then the other wrench on the nut. When the nut is loosened, you want to keep it in the same location. That way when you put on the new tie rod, which should be the same length as the existing tie rod, and it doesn't throw off your alignment. To remove the tie rod end, I'm putting on the castle nut just enough so it sticks out, and when I pound it with the hammer it doesn't damage the threads. You can also tap the sides to help loosen the tie rod end. And once the tie rod end comes off, you can take off the castle nut and spin the tie rod end counterclockwise off the arm. The existing tie rod boot is cracked and there's no grease, so this is a common problem. You want to also check the inner tie rod by moving it to see if it moves too easily and pulling on it to see if there's any play. If there is, this will also need to be changed. Using a rag, you want to clean any dirt from the hole and the seat and the arm. Next I put some grease in the hole and on the seat for the new tie rod. Now I'll be threading on the new tie rod end counterclockwise to the same location as where I left the existing nut in place in order to keep the alignment, and putting the tie rod end into its seat. Using the two same wrenches that was used for removal, now you want to tighten the nut onto the new tie rod end. The new outer tie rod end is greasable, and it came with this nipple that I'll be screwing on to the top of the tie rod and filling it in with grease. And once you fill it up with grease, you want to reinstall the castle nut and torque it to the manufacturer specifications, and reinstall the cutout pin and bend its arms of the cutout pin to lock it in place. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe.